me to send you the link?
Yeah, if you could text me that, I'll copy that on the Discord.
I don't know that I can do that. I can't take it from my computer and put it onto my phone.
Oh, okay.
So let me go to my email.
Yeah, sure. Just email it to me and I'll figure it out.
Okay. In fact, I'm emailing. I was just about to email you something else. So it's going to be right above my name. Okay. Is the link, and I just sent it. Now I'll go back to the live stream. Okay. Hello, Kerry. Okay. Now some people. You got it there, Andrew?
I have to check. I'm actually at the hospital, so I'll check my phone and then announce.
Okay. Okay. Because we've got 60 people there now.
Okay. All right. Notices. Okay, fine. I'll do that right now.
Okay. For those of you here, I apologize. I'm very good at what I know how to do, but those things that I don't know how to do, I'm not very good at. And one of them is activating the live stream. I had it scheduled for 3. I apologize. Andrew informed me that I normally do it at 1. So did I see XPEV up 40%? I don't know what XPEV is. Sold my 100 shares of NEO yesterday. So okay, there's 89 of you, and let's. I want to talk about something that has come forward to me, and kind of the direction I want to take things in the future. I get emails from Jeff Brown. If any of you know who Jeff Brown is, he has a pretty good history as a stock picker, and he's built his business off of that. And so I got an email from him yesterday, and he wanted to, or maybe it was the day before, he wanted to share with me the most important tech stock in the world, and he had a 1 hour, I believe it was a 1 hour video of just conversation, just text. No, it was a video. And 3/4 of the way through the video, he told me that the most important tech stock in the world was Amazon, which I knew. But he went on to explain why. And you'll see a video that I reiterated that. I'll do that tomorrow. But where he was going was he wanted to tell me why Amazon.com and why Amazon Web Services was so important and why it was able to be so important. And he wanted then me to send him $2,000 for the name of the ticker symbol that made Amazon as strong as it is as a Amazon Web Services. Well, I already knew the name of the ticker symbol, so I decided not to send him $2,000. And that got me to thinking of how people are making money on the internet, selling information that you and I have available to us, but I didn't know they were getting $2,000 a crack for it. So that got me again thinking that some things have happened in the last week that have really opened my eyes up to the direction the world's going. And you know, I believe that the most important thing that has happened in my awake lifetime, World War II, the end of World War II was probably the end of it was the most important thing that happened in my lifetime. I was awake, but I was less than a year old at the time. Yeah, that was in July of 1945 in Bretton Woods when the world came together, the Allies came together and said, we can never have World War III. And that was the creation of the world order as we know it today. Now, again, if you follow my videos, you know that I believe we, as a result of the devastation of the world, the economies, as a result of coronavirus, we're facing the same situation. And as I read it, sometime in probably February, March, they're going to have a meeting in Davos, Switzerland, and they're calling it the reset. And what it is it's going to address the concern that this can never happen again. We cannot ever again make it through a situation where the whole world shuts down because of a preventable virus. And it is preventable as a result of technology. So I have that running through the back of my mind. And then about, I guess it was a week and a half ago that, what's the guy's name? Started Alibaba. He started this Ant. An Ant is a new banking system that he wanted to enact in China, and the Chinese government, just like the day before the IPO, shut it down and didn't allow him to do it. And I thought that was a little strange. And then earlier this week, I read where China is pulling a House of Representatives move and basically saying, hey, you people at Alibaba and Tencent and Baidu aren't competitive. You aren't letting other people compete. And I said to myself, wow, I think I've heard that before. I think I heard that just at the judicial committee when they pulled, was it Google, Amazon, Apple, and Facebook, and said, you guys aren't playing fair. You aren't allowing competition. And I thought, well, what's going on in China? And what I think is happening, and I think this is just paramount for you to understand, is China's trying to make peace with the rest of the world. China has recognized that they got a leg up. God, they got a leg up on 5G. They've got a magnificent library of technology companies, but the rest of the world doesn't trust them. And so I got to thinking, well, what would I do if I had the best technology in the world, but I was a real bastard and nobody really liked me and everybody was working against me. And they were even banning companies like TikTok. We won't let you into our country because we know you're connected to that Chinese communist government and you're going to steal all our data. Well, how long can you live like that? How long can you survive like that? I think you're terminal, particularly then when you're going to sit down with a bunch of people who believe you caused the pandemic. Holy crap, they're going to beat you with a big stick. So how do you overcome that? And how do you make peace with the rest of the world? Well, you clean your act up. And I think that's what we're seeing going on with China right now. And so that opened my eyes up to say, wait a second. This is a repeat of World War II. This is a repeat of how the rest of the world felt about Germany and Japan in July of 1945. Well, I need to learn from that because history always repeats itself. So what I believe is happening is China's trying to make nice. So where did that take me? Well, the first thing you saw me do was buy a Chinese stock, and that was NIO. And I did a video about it and compared it to Tesla. And the video, I think the headline was something like NIO at 40, Tesla at 400. Is NIO going to capture Tesla? And everybody liked the video, and it went quite well. And so that took me into a deeper look into the EV world, the electric vehicle world. And I know these numbers are in my head that we have 350 million people in the United States, and China has roughly 1.4 trillion. So their EV market is just huge. In fact, my research then that I've been doing showed me that in fact 50% of all the electric vehicles that were sold in 2019 were sold in China. So I dug in deeper because I see a lot of people talking about this beyond NIO, LI Automotive, and Xpeng Automotive, and Tesla as the leaders in electric vehicles in China and in the world as far as that goes. And so I did some more Googling and I found out that's not true. The largest electric vehicle manufacturer in the world is somebody entirely different. And they happen to be in China. And they happen to also be the largest battery company in the world. And I got to thinking, wow, I'm in the same class now as Jeff Brown. I've got a piece of information here that I dug up, and I wonder if it's worth $2,000 a crack. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to share it with you, and I'm going to share it with you here. And then Saturday, you're going to see it's in a video. And let me give you some representation. Number one, the largest electric vehicle manufacturer, and let me go back. The largest electric car manufacturer is Tesla. Tesla has 48,000 employees. To give you some representation, NIO, Tesla's challenger, has 7,000 employees. Tesla has 48,000. NIO has 7,000. LI, who a lot of you are crazy about, guess the number, come on, has 2,628 employees. And that's what you're getting all excited about. Ping, P-E-N-G, has 3,760 employees. But this company that I found this report on, and the report was done in April of 2019, halfway down the report, it tells me that they have 40,000 employees. Well, I said, well, that was done in April of 19. I ought to update it. So I Googled it. This company now has 230,000 230,000 employees. It's roughly 5 times the size of Tesla. And it is the largest electronic vehicle manufacturer in the world. And you don't know who they are. If you do, put it up there and I'll look as I'm continuing to talk. So I said, how could that be? Well, what I learned is that they make electric buses, they make electric forklifts, they make electric utility vans, street sweepers, garbage trucks, and you got it, there it is. There's Ray got it, and Edmonic got it. It's B there, and Mark got it. BYD. BYD. Do you know what BYD stands for? Build your dreams. Build your dreams. they are, again, they are, what is it, of LI? They are 100 times the size. Do you know? Yeah, the stock symbol is BYDDF. It sells over the counter. I bought 500 shares of it this morning. It sells for about 20, I think I paid $23 a share. Folks, this, and they just released their new luxury vehicle. Now I drove, as you know, Tesla's luxury vehicle. And and she told me it was discounted that day from 79,000 to 69,000. And then she told me what the taxes and everything else was going to be. And it turned out to be $80,000. But BYD's sells for $39,000. Now it's only going to be available in China until they get up and running. But folks, these people have they have over 250,000 employees, and most of us have never heard of it. And yes, Mark says, and Warren Buffett in 2014 or 2018, he bought 10% of the company. He's since upped his ante, and he owns 25% of the company. So, you guys need to just jump all over this. And again, it may not be. But here's the other thing that really lit me up. There's a city in China. They have 300,000 electric buses. Now that's something totally different than an electric car. Do you know how many electric buses there are in the United States? 1,000. They have, excuse me, is that 3 or 500,000? Let me put on my glasses. They have 500,000, 500,000 buses in China. In Shenzhou, Shenzhes, they have 20,000 electric taxis. Do you know how many they have in New York City? Anybody want to guess how many electric taxis there are in New York City? Come on, give me a number. Give me a number. Does Buffett own any of Tesla? I don't know about that, Jerry. New York City, again, Shenzhen or whatever it is. No, Jerry, no, not 8. You're getting close. New York City has 20 electric taxis. Now, in your mind, would you think there is anything more obvious that to be electric than a taxi? Of course. I mean, taxis run around in the most populated cities in the world. They pollute tremendously because if you've been in a yellow cab anywhere, so you know they're a piece of crap and their engines aren't taken care of. China is so far ahead in that. So my understanding of this is, look what we can learn if we just do a little bit of digging. And this is a $25 stock with a company that has 230,000 employees compared to Tesla's 48,000, to NIO's 7,000, which we're all going crazy over. I need to put my grandchildren's trust money into this stock. This is Plug. I'm going to look into Plug, John, because this is going to be the next issue. If we're all going electric, which I think we are, you're going to need charging stations. And I know Plug does a lot of putting their chargers in like Amazon's warehouses, because Amazon, I think, just bought a bunch of trucks as well that are electric. So I guess what I'm all excited about is I think I found something that Jeff Brown doesn't know anything about. So I think I'll write him and ask him if he wants to pay me $2,000 for my hottest tip. Uh, and plug is only $6 a share. Wow. And again, I think what we're seeing here, and this is what excites me about this whole YouTube thing, is is that if you think things through, I mean, Workhorse, give me a break. Why would anybody invest in that? It's a totally political thing. Helion, I'm sorry, guys. Uh, no, that's a pipe dream. Um, and what's the other one? The other one that these people are unproven concepts. This um, build your own dreams. This is an enormous company. They read. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. Unlike Jeff, I'm not going to charge you for this. I've made a PDF of it, and I've written Drew, and I sent it to Drew and said, Drew, put this in the Discord and create a tab that says connect the dots, because I want to create something in the Discord that when I find things like this, I'll do a video on it, but in 15 minutes you can't dig down deep, and you can't really get the information about the CEO and the history of the company. And so in the Discord, I'm going to put documents like this. I need to announce to you too that Drew is putting a lot of work into that Discord, and not right away, but in the near future, we're going to do what everybody else has done, and we're going to put a price on belonging to the Discord. So and as a result of it, Drew has convinced me I need to be a little bit more transparent and create something in the Discord that that reveals my portfolio. Now, Drew and I had a discussion about this yesterday, and I need, as I said to Drew, I says, you have never been audited, have you? He said, what are you talking about? I said, you've never been called in by the IRS and said, we want to see your last 6 years tax returns. They can actually take 7. Well, this guy has been. This guy's been audited multiple times. The last time was 2 years ago. It was a state audit. If I go in and I put everything about my financial life in this Discord or on this YouTube channel, I don't stand a chance when I go into an audit. So I'm not going to show you my underwear. I'm not going to do that. What I will do is I will create a portfolio that is representative of what I think you should be doing. And in that portfolio, I'll give you the number of shares and what I bought it for and past history and that sort of stuff. But I think I'm going to, and the other thing is, I don't live in a world that says that I want to play the game, mine is bigger than yours. I just don't want to do it. I don't appreciate when people treat me that way. And so I'm not going to treat you that way. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a portfolio of about $500,000. And that's what I will trade relative to my YouTube channel. But again, that takes a lot of work on my part. And so eventually, within probably the next 30 days, we are going to put a price on members at some level of membership on the Discord. And so I want you to be aware of that. Now, does that mean that I'm going to give up on this? No, it does not. That's all about my daughter. That's all about me, my daughter, my wife, and cancer. So that, and I think roughly 200 of you who are supporting that, I thank you. I thank you so much. it's important to me. I met a guy today who is suffering from cancer, and as it was, some of you know that I may have prostate cancer. I was tested several months ago. I took some antibodies, and this morning I went and did my blood test, and I will know shortly whether I have prostate cancer. Now, another thing you need to know is I'm leaving Saturday for the last. Oh, I guess it started in '87 or '80. Yeah, '87. We for since that's 30 some years. We have gone to the beach every year for Thanksgiving. We usually go just for the week of Thanksgiving, but I decided I wanted to go for 2 weeks. I wanted to do some deep sea fishing. I wanted to ride my bike, and I wanted to just enjoy myself down at the beach. The other thing that, and I think I've alluded to this somewhere else, that um, there's a wonderful real estate study down there that I'm going to get into, but I'm going to go make room for all of us too. Actually, we've rented a 3-bedroom house, and it's just Nita and I, because Nita wants to be on this certain street, and so she can walk to the shops and go every morning and get coffee and do things like that. But every day I'm going to be shooting my video from the beach, and it's going to take an interesting twist. I think as you see what we went there for the first time in 1997, and we where we're going was a gravel road, and on that gravel road, it's called 30A. It's in Santa Rosa Beach. I could have bought a house on the beach. It was a concrete block house with a shingle roof, and it was I think it was like 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. I could have bought it for $30,000. The problem was I didn't have $30,000 to spend on something like that then. That lot now, right now, is that lot would go for $3 million, just the lot, and it's probably 90 feet by 110 feet, right on the beach. When you after you spend your $3 million and tear down the concrete block house to build a house there, and then you can't go more than 3 stories. Yeah, we'll start about 4 million. There are houses down there, $26 million right now, so you will be exposed to that, and it'll be a lot of fun. So you count on you're going on vacation. We'll do our live sessions down there. I'll do my videos, and you'll spend 2 weeks in Florida with me. So it should be fun. Okay, David says he bought both Helion, Tesla. I don't think you can go wrong. Well, I would take that back. I'm a little afraid of buying an electric car company in China, Li, who has 2,628 employees. That just doesn't sound like a going concern to me. Now, again, I got that information off of Google. If you can repute it, fine. But I think we know the world is going electric. And the other thing that I wanted to share, and I've alluded to this along this electric vehicle thing before, is in the late 70s, I remember a company by the name of Datsun made a really good-looking little sports car, and another company by the name of Honda, who crossed the seas and started trying to sell cars in the United States. And my father said, "There is no way in hell I will drive a Japanese car." They didn't hold paint very well. When they shipped them over, the salt waters on the ships kind of ate the paint off. But right now, you and I know the #1 sedan sold in the United States is the Toyota Corolla. We know that Lexus probably is right up there with BMW and Mercedes as far as selling cars. I think it would you would be crazy not to believe that China will get that electric vehicle down below $20,000, and and they will be the largest seller of electric vehicles, the Chinese, in the United States, unless Tesla brings theirs down to compete with them. And you know we aren't going to be able. It's just like I was reading an article about Apple, and I'm going to do a video on this. Apple is they are expecting, what do they call it? Something wave of when the Apple is it 12 phones start selling for Christmas. There are going to be some other companies that are going to just explode, who have put some of the new technology in. That's another thing that Jeff Brown wanted to sell me for $2,000 was the names of the companies that are going to benefit from Apple's new iPhones. I didn't oblige him on that one either. But so that's kind of my take. Again, I think the electric vehicle and everything around it and healthcare are going to change our worlds. And as an investor, I want to be involved in that, and I want to I want to put myself in the path of the companies that are going to change healthcare and change electric vehicles. I still believe that the big players in healthcare are going to be Google and Apple, and Amazon. Is you got to know your house is going to become a smart home. If we can catch up with China on 5G, your house is going to have sensors. I don't know if you know that your car already has 140 sensors in it, giving information all about your vehicle into the cloud, and that Amazon and Google make contracts with various automakers so that they get the data off of your car. So that's going to happen to your house. Your house, they will make it extremely enticing to you, all the way down to potentially paying you to make your house a Google house, Apple house, an Amazon house, and Facebook has one. They aren't pushing it as hard as others, but that is part of what 5G is going to do. 6G doesn't exist. That's a word that Jeff Brown created. He's coined it to sell his $2,000 tips. 6G is something China is working on, but I guess it's an acronym. So that's invest in the companies that are going to change health. Invest in companies that are going to be involved in the electric auto business, and I don't think you can go wrong. I just don't. But you've got to recognize, if you watched, and I'm going to use this. This may be the last time I give Jim Rogers credit for it, and I'll just say it's mine. If you want to make big money in the stock market, you recognize change before the change happens. And you recognize the undervalued assets that are owned, that change will stimulate the interest in that undervalued asset. And those are big data. I'm reading about all these electric cars. There ain't any of them that's got the data that Tesla has. I'll tell you what, if you haven't driven one of these things, get in the left lane and have your car programmed that you're getting off at the next exit, and sit there with I never was able to put my hands in my lap, with your hands near the steering wheel, and watch that car move from the left lane to the center lane to the right lane, and then see another car that you're closing in on fast, and that automatic cruise control slows you down, moves you into the exit lane, then senses, are you going to take a right turn or a left turn at the exit lane, and then it moves you into the appropriate lane. At that point, the car I had to take control and make the turn. They have a beta version right now that will be a thing of the past. It will make the turn for you as well. I don't think any of these other electric automobile companies are anywhere near where Tesla is on that. And again, I just think, is that going to be? Will I someday be in a car and just take that for granted? Will I just be, well, sure, let's get in the car and play cards? I don't know. But what you need to understand is the world is changing and going to change. It isn't going to take as long as it took for this to take hold. It isn't going to take as long as it took for the internet to take hold. We're talking now, we're getting to where we're going to talk about months, that the world is just going to accelerate. And again, I don't want to be a broken record. It's going to accelerate right now because of two things: the electric vehicle and the coronavirus. We can't stop the electric vehicle, and we have to stop viruses. And I know a lot of you think that by giving up, turning your house into a smart house, turning your bathroom into a smart bathroom is just an invasion of your privacy. I'm sorry. You're going to have to stay at home. You're not going to be allowed out of the house, because I don't want you out of the house if you're going to get a virus and you're going to come walking around and no. Yeah, amazing times we live in. And I think back to my grandfather. If he could have seen this, I think back that the Tesla car, what would it have been? What was it like to get on the first airplane? Just think of the fear factor of that. I got into a DC-3. The first plane I got into, I think I was living in Minneapolis. And a DC-3 was a plane that sat on the runway like that. And you walked out to the runway and you climbed in the steps through the ass end of that airplane. And you walked up the aisle and found your seat. And it had two big engines and two big propellers on the side of it. And I can remember thinking, how are they going to get this thing off the ground? And am I safe here? And then I was flying from Minneapolis, I think, to, I don't know, Fargo, North Dakota or something like that. And we hit turbulence. I knew I was going to die. I knew I was. Think about, that's where we are with automobiles. We are there, and we're going to experience it, and it's going to come so fast. And that's where we are with health, and that's where I think you need to push your investments. I know when you don't have a lot of money, and you see a 27-cent stock that a friend of your friends told you was going to take off, that's gambling. That is gambling. Um, Again, Lomond Electronics bought Plug. I don't think you can go wrong with something like that because it's in the wave. The wave is going. The electronic vehicle is going. We're going to need places to plug in. I am told that I could buy a device from Amazon, and I could connect to 110 wires and create a 120 outlet in my garage, and I could plug my electric vehicle in, and overnight it would probably charge. But you're still going to need the equivalent of gas stations as you move around, and you aren't able to. So I got to believe, particularly if you're going to um, um, do a fleet of automobiles. It's just like, what about Enterprise, or we don't have Hertz anymore? They're going to need somebody to provide them with some sort of some sort of hookup. Don't trust China company. Okay, I was in your camp, Tim, and I still don't, because to me, and again, if you don't trust a China company, then research it. Would I trust an electric vehicle company with the symbol of LI who has 2,628 employees? No, no, no. That's a small venture. How can you build 2,000 vehicles with 2,600? But if they have 2,300, okay, you're getting up around General Motors and Ford. That's a serious business. If you make 500,000 buses that are all electric, you know what the hell you're doing. So if you don't entrust, and I encourage you, do not trust a China company. So research it. Research it. Don't take some stupid face on YouTube's channel and say, well, Kerry says it's a good buy. Shame on you if you do that. If you expect to go to YouTube and get rich, okay. Why don't you go to Las Vegas? So that's my take. I bought Neo at $3. Good for you. How many employees did they have then? I'd like to know that. When you bought it for $3, did you pick your phone up and say, Google, how many employees does Neo have? Wouldn't you want to know that? How big is their factory? How many automobiles have they sold? Wouldn't you want to know that? Is a CCP darling. I think that has something to do. Look, I got a comment on one of my videos about you can't trust China. They're a communist country. Look, folks, politics is politics. Whether you're Democrat or you're Republican, whether you're socialist or you're communist, this isn't about politics. This isn't about ideologies. This is about money. This is about investing in companies, and that's a privilege that can make you rich. And if you will do the research to minimize the risk, go for it. I see this. Dan Ross, 10 cent at $70. What do you think? Damn, I would love to buy tech at 10 cent. Um, I read this book, The Superpowers of China, Silicon Valley versus the New World Order. And then I read this book. And Tencent, Tencent is, I guess you would say it's the Google of China. Um, they have eliminated currency. Tencent has an app that you walk into any place and you pay. If you have cash, you can't buy. What was it? Jim Rogers says he went in and bought some ice cream and was licking on it and went to pay for it in China, and they said, we don't take your currency, we take your phone. He says, I don't have a phone that works in China. And they said, Jack Ma, that is it. Then go ahead and take the ice cream because he couldn't pay for it. That's where this is going. And I know Apple Pay has tried it, and I know is that what it's called? WePay, and I know Apple has tried it, and I think Google has a Google Wallet. I think they got a big fight on their hands with the government on that one. Somehow, again, I spent a week in Cuba a year ago. No, I guess it was this March. And I learned that you lose control. You control your population by controlling your currency. I guess, and this is something that just crossed my mind. What if we didn't have the American dollar? And what if all we had was Bitcoin? Okay, let's roll the clock back 7 months. And a pandemic comes through our country. And people lose their jobs. And they've been accustomed to getting paid with Bitcoin. But now there is no currency. What does your government do? What would have happened in March if we had no currency? We had Bitcoin. What would have happened? The government couldn't have sent out any checks. So how could it happen? I don't know. That worries me. In Cuba, they basically control their population because they control their currency. So I'm going to have to think about that. If your government doesn't control your currency, they can't bail you out. What do? Just send you monopoly money? And those who will take it, and those who won't. Because if I got a bunch of Bitcoin and I don't know. You think about it. You tell me. Would it be fair to say humans are self-destructing? Tony, I'm sorry for you. Would it safe to say that humans are that's what it says, destructing? No, that would not be safe to say. I think it would be safe to say the world's a hell of a lot better place than it was 76 years ago when I came into the world. We didn't have any of this. My dad, he didn't have access to making that kind of money. My grandfather Self-destructing. My grandfather worked in a Formica plant in Cincinnati, and I can remember the stink of Cincinnati from Formica is what you used to have on your countertops. It's a form of some sort of plastic, I guess. Um, my grandparents didn't have cars. They rode the city bus. Um, and a lot of the city buses were electric. I don't know if any of you remember, the streets had electric wires running up and down the streets, and those buses moved through there. Um, my grandmother cooked everything that she did in lard. Um, we had very, very unhealthy eating habits. We had we didn't have telephones. The first telephone we had were party lines. The first TV we got was about 1951 or 50, and it was only on from 5 o'clock at night till 9 o'clock at night. Um, yeah, how can you say we are self-destructing? I feel sorry that you feel that way. I look at it and say, in my lifetime, I'm going to have a doctor on my phone. I went this morning for my second blood test of the year because of the first blood test. The first blood test that said that I have a swollen prostate. I may die of prostate cancer because of that. That won't happen to my grandchildren. They will know if their prostate is swelling the first day it swells. Wow. My granddaughter is 21. She's going to get married probably in the next 5 years. She's going to have children. When her child is born, it will be standard procedure that they sequence that child's genome, and they will recognize in that child's genome that my mother died of cancer, that my daughter died of cancer, that I probably will die of cancer. And they will alter the child's genes. They will use CRISPR to alter the gene and put that gene back in its right place so the body will fight the cancer. And you think the world is self-destructing? Come on. If the CRISPR can't do it, there will be a chemical that will just push it back into place, and you'll keep taking it, and it will eliminate. It will eliminate the death that we have to deal with. And your lifespan will go from what it is now, and I hate to share this with you, at 78 years old, I'm 2 years away, it will go to 150 because you won't die of cancer. You won't die of tuberculosis. You won't die of heart disease because the system will have been corrected. And those will be the things that kill us today won't be a part of our lives. So what will you die of? Well, again, take it to the modern car. When I was first looking at cars, when I was 16 years old, the life expectancy of a car was between 30,000 and 50,000 miles. Why? Because that's as long as they could life. They died. The parts broke up and they died. Now, the life expectancy of an automobile is Easy, 150,000, 200,000, and because they don't die like they used to. And guess what? They can make replacement parts. And that's what's going to happen to take us beyond 150 years of age. We're going to have replacement parts. I mean, they already can make you a new ear. They can already make you a new liver. So it isn't that far off that they're through 3D printing, they'll make you a new heart or a new lung. So how can you say we are self-destructing? My God. The other thing, and then some of you are going to say, well, then we're going to have overpopulation. Well, I'll tell you what. You need to read what's the book? I can't remember the name of it. In the 1960s, they were predicting that the population of we would overpopulate the world, and as a result of that, mark my word, as a result of that, we have modern day birth control. If you want to read something interesting, look at the history of birth control. What men used to do to themselves in order to birth control. Lifespan. It's a book by David A. Sinclair. This is something else I want to say. You notice I do a hell of a lot of reading. If you don't, shame on you. That's how you get an advantage in this world. That is how you get an advantage. You just get smarter than everybody else. Now, I'll share with you that you open up and people's eyes gloss over. You might have seen the video I did yesterday where my real estate brokerage company made the mistake of inviting me to talk. You wind Kerry up and he don't shut up. But I think they were appreciative. So that's kind of my take on the world. It's kind of my take on this YouTube channel. I want to give you good information. Anal sex works every time. Put your real name. If you're going to say things like that, have the balls to put your real name adjacent to it. Don't hide behind something called Vendog. If you're a man, be a man. If you're a woman, be a woman. But don't hide. Don't hide and then make comments like that. You don't belong here, okay? That's not the game we play here. We're here to help people, and we're here to benefit each other. If you want to be a nasty, okay, I'm moving on. So I don't know what I was talking about. Lifespan, read, educate yourself, and make yourself wiser. I have shared with you before, I'm dyslexic. I don't really, I listen to the book on Audible, and then I buy it for study purposes. But if you aren't reading a book a month to make yourself smarter, shame on you. You're going to fall behind. So that's kind of the direction I want to go with my YouTube channel. I've kind of given up on the possibility of getting to 1 million subscribers, because I don't think 1 million subscribers want to hear what I have to say. I really don't. I'm not going to pander to you. I'm not going to tell you that you should invest in Eastman Kodak, and I'm not going to share with you the next penny stock that you ought to get into, and I'm not going to talk to you about day trading. So I'm not going to pander to those people. I'll find my way to find my happiness in what I'm doing, and I'll build the tribe that I want to. Um, um, yeah, I think I can. I went through a period where I actually was getting negative subscribers, and now I'm back up to where I'm getting 600-700 a day. Um, and I think that's because I kind of got up on my high horse and started preaching my what's important to me. I don't think most of you really want to know how to minimize your taxes. I don't. I think that's too much work for most people. Um, it's to really think things through. It's easier to just take Mo's what is it, shop Mo's, stock Mo's advice to buy um, some penny stock. It's easier to do that than to figure out how you want to own it, where you want to own it, and to manage your taxes. No, I'm not giving up. Hell, I get too much enjoyment out of this. Um, this is my life. This is what I enjoy doing, and building houses. In fact, I this morning I showed the house I'm building, and that one of the two, and I think the guy's going to buy it. So and it was a warm experience. He's a cancer survivor. He owns a restaurant, one of the oldest restaurants, a barbecue restaurant here in Birmingham. And I was telling him about my charitable foundation, and he says, "Anytime you need any food," well, I can't feed my channel supporters. It's a tight community. So anyway, that's kind of where that's at. Okay, let me kind of look here. Care of yourself. Oh yeah, I take excellent care of myself. I'm taking a in this book. Um, David Sinclair talks about his father, who is maybe a few years younger than me, lost his wife and became very very depressed and became a couch potato. And David does a lot of research, and he subscribed to him an over the counter additive or supplement called NMN. NMN. And I started taking it probably 30 days ago. Um, the net effect is my metabolism has just skyrocketed. Um, I don't hesitate doing my 20 push-ups. I don't hesitate doing my sit-ups. I don't hesitate lifting my weights where I used to. And so this supplement, so I bought another. It cost about almost $1 a pill, and I take two a day. So yeah, I take damn good care of myself. I got to get back to running. I got to get back to driving my heart rate up to about 160 and 170, because again, as he says, you need to make your body feel that it's being pushed to its limit, so that all the cells in your body um, reach their peak. In essence, if you become a couch potato, your cells in your body say there's no reason to work. And Whereas on the other hand, when I do a 100-yard dash and in 20 seconds, my heart rate goes from 60 to 160, my body believes they're about to die. And my lungs are heaving and my body is thrusting, and my cells go to work. And that's how you keep your body alive, by keeping the cells in your body working at their maximum. Where they work at their maximum when they think you're in the greatest danger. Your body comes to life when you believe there's a Bengal tiger behind you and he's going to chase you and three other people down. when you get in a race with three other people and a Bengal tiger, the only thing you have to do is run faster than one of the other two people because the tiger can only eat one at a time. So that's how I manage my life. I got to run faster. I got to be smarter. I got to be more alert and have more energy than at least one other guy in the room. So appreciate your knowledge. I I think I think Sondlo, it's not as much knowledge as it is experience and the ability to reflect back and say, I remember when this happened before. Um, and so I know what's going to happen, or I have a pretty good idea, and I know who's going to benefit. And all I have to do, I have the privilege to buy into those companies. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's how I'm going to come out ahead. So um, come with me to Florida next week. Nita and I will leave on Saturday. We're going to be in two different houses. We were notified last night. The house that we rented for 2 weeks had an air conditioner leak and the ceiling fell. And so they're putting us into a second house for the first week and then moving us back into the first house on the second week. But that's okay. It was interesting. The guy called me and he expected me to blow up at him. And he says, everybody else gets so mad at when things like that happen. I said, his name was Lennar. I said, Lennar, you didn't make it happen. All I can do is try to make it as easy on you, and hopefully you'll make it as easy on me. And that's part of how you need to look at life. Things happen. Yeah, David, things happen. Sometimes even shit happens. You just deal with it. You clean up and move on. So how far is Birmingham to the beach? About 250 miles. It'll take us about 5 hours. Now, if I was in a Tesla, I'd just get myself on Highway 65 and climb into the back seat and take a nap. And then when we turn on to the highways to go east, it's all highway and very few turns. So, but I don't have that Tesla, so I'm driving the BMW, and we'll be fine. And then the other thing I got to give a plug. I think about 250 of you have become members of the YouTube channel. You go under the video. You won't find it on your phone, but on your tablet or your desktop, under the video, you'll see a little box that says join, and join there. It's a $3.99. Google takes a part of it. I think it's maybe 30% of it. But that's going to my charitable foundation, Warriors Team Shea. You'll make me happy, and hopefully I can find. I think I want to find. I want to give it to people who are doing genome research, because I think it is just so fascinating, the possibility that our world could eliminate. I have friends who have Parkinson's. I have friends who have Alzheimer's. These are defects in the blueprint of our body. And if I can play a part in making that go away and increasing people's lifespan, what a wonderful contribution to this Earth's population. That's what I talk about, leaving something behind. Ask yourself, what do you know about your great-grandfather or your or your great-grandmother, what did they leave behind? They didn't have the advantage of photography. So if you even have a old black and white picture of them, consider yourself lucky. But leave something of yourself behind. Write a book, sing a song, and record it. Paint. See that right there? That's my Picasso. I painted that. I wanted a Picasso in my house. I now have two of them. I have a Salvador Dali. I have a Vincent van Gogh. I have a number of artists who have painted. Leave it, and then you sign it, not with Picasso's name, but with your name, and so you leave it behind. That's the other thing. And then the other, family wealth. If you saw the video at the brokerage, the real estate brokerage, $24 million. I want you to write that number down. $24 million. That's what the federal government allows you and your spouse or your significant other to leave estate tax-free to your heirs. That's the maximum. It's 11,150,000 a piece. So I rounded off to $24 million. That's what you can leave behind. Would that make, and that will go up. If you're 25 years old, trust me, that'll go up to 48 million with inflation. But that should be your goal. And when you have a goal, there's a good possibility if you'll read and you'll discipline yourself, you'll achieve it. What if your grandfather had left you and your family $24 million? How would your life be different? Now, I know you'd say, well, it would be spoiled, and there's a thing called a trust, which spells out for what you can go to that $45 million or 24 million. You can dictate it, just like Joe Kennedy did, just like the Carnegies did. And I guess that's what I want to tell you is the Grinkmeyers can do the same thing as the Carnegies and the Kennedys and the Rockefellers. It's all within your capability. If you, Todd, if you had, I wouldn't give it to you, Todd, David, in one lump sum. You might have to do something for it. That's at my control. So you might have to do some charitable work to get it. And so you leave something, not just the money, you leave direction. Okay, Todd? David Todd, I expect you to give me a report 2 years from now, how close you are to your 24 million. I have an IRA going to 13 charities. Good for you, Jerry. Make sure, do this, Jerry. You go pull those charities' tax returns. If you haven't seen the video I did, I pulled the tax return on the American Cancer Society in 2018. They raised $85 million. 58% of it went to salaries and benefits of their employees. 35% of it went to advertising and promotion to raise more money. Something like 15% of it went to their cause. What is the American Cancer Society's cause? To make people who have cancer more comfortable. They provide them housing while they're getting their chemotherapy. They provide them visitors while they're getting their chemotherapy. How much money does the American Cancer Society spend on cancer research? Let me tell you, zero. Why? Because if they cure cancer, they don't have a business. They don't have the 58% salaries and benefits. How do I know this? I looked at their tax return. How did I find that out? My fraternity brother was the CEO of the American Cancer Society. And in 2017, he got paid $2.4 million. And I said, what the hell is that all about? Well, I found out. So if you're going to give money to charity, you go, you look it up. It's on their website. You pull up their 1090, I believe it is, and you go through that tax return. Don't you give your money to a charity without knowing where your money is going. If all it's going to do is buy pink t-shirts with ribbons on them and nothing for curing breast cancer, then don't do it. Don't do it. If for cancer, go to the Jim. He was the basketball coach for North Carolina. Valvano, Jim Valvano. He for their that they 85% of what the Valvano charity goes to cancer research. Just like you should be in investigating stocks, investigate the charity. Don't give them your money and expect them to do right by you. Follow up. One of my favorites is Little Sister of the Poor, as Jerry says. I don't know a thing about them. Pull their stock return. I'm afraid the Little Sisters of the Poor are from my church. Little Sisters sounds like the Catholic Church. We know they're not all saints, don't we? So do your due diligence and then give your money to people who are going to do what you want them to do. And don't wear blinders and say, well, I'm sure the American Cancer Society is worthy. They're not. They're not looking for a cure for cancer. Okay. I'm at an hour and 17 minutes. I did get a little late start. I'll learn how to do this right in the future. And so that is what it's all about. Children's Hospital, yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with there. Things like that. But know what you're giving them to. Workhorse, buy, hold, or sell. You've got to be kidding me. Workhorse. I can't pronounce that. Mubtration. Buy, hold, or sell. Don't get anywhere near it. If you got that kind of money, Mubeshan, to throw away, give it to a charity. Hello from Scotland. I spent 2 weeks in Scotland. I guess it was 2 years ago. Beautiful country. The problem was, what's your name, James? I went with 3 other people, Nita and another couple, and they convinced me that I should drive. And so we rented a car, and it was a stick shift. But you people drive on the wrong side of the road. So I'm comfortable with a stick shift, but I'm not comfortable with this stick shift. And I'm not comfortable going down your narrow roads and being run over by huge tour buses, and being thrown off the road and blowing a back tire in an Audi and not being able to find the damn tire in the car and being in the mud and finally finding the jack and having the car fall off the jack. I didn't get to see Scotland. I got to see the roads. I'm I'm from IB. I'm from Scotland too. Come to the United States. We have interstates and we drive on the right side of the road and we don't charge extra for automatic transmissions like you do over there. Okay, I gotta go. I enjoy this. Drew said, "You going to do that?" I said, "Of course I'm going to do it." I enjoyed it. You people are my people, um, and I'm dedicated to you. So I'm going to say goodbye now.